Who is going to win the Premier League this season? Which teams are most likely to get relegated? How many Czech players are there in the Premier League this season? And what's wrong with this sentence? If they will both be number one goalkeepers, I'll be satisfied. Welcome to Footglish. I'm Zdenek, your host, and here we talk about football. We learn English as well, and we also probably complain about something that happened on the pitch. And today we are doing the Footglish podcast Premier League preview, and a topic like that is really huge, so I cannot do this alone. And that's why I'm today joined by Martin Minha. Martin, welcome back to the podcast.
Thank you, Zdenek. It's good to hear you and see you as well.
Yeah, it's nice to have you back. Martin Minha, CANAL Plus football host, commentator, and reporter. Did I say that correctly?
Well, we say presenter, but
Presenter.
you're right, because my boss always say that I got like 4 positions in our company. So yeah, I'm a presenter in a Prague studio. I do multiple Premier League conferences, and I'm also a reporter and a commentator. So that's my position right now. Yeah,
So
I'm a happy
many
guy.
job titles.
Yeah,
Aren't you confused yourself?
No, I love it. It's so colorful, and that's why I love Premier League and my job as well.
Right. Oh, it's great. But one thing that fascinates me in particular as an English teacher is the fact that you have had the privilege to talk to footballers, coaches, because you did interviews after the games, post-match interviews. So I want to ask you about that. We are talking about big boys, the Premier League players. So I want to ask you about that. And specifically, what have been your highlights so far? Because I know you've been doing it for a while now. So
Yeah. So firstly, it really is a privilege. That's my feeling, and I got it in my head every morning. Really, like it was always my dream to do this job. So
yeah,
I'm a happy guy. But my highlight from last season's Denek,
yeah.
I had a privilege to talk to Martin Odegaard after 36th round. It was at London Stadium, where Odegaard got a crucial assist for Trossard goal. Arsenal won 1-0, and I think it was the match who decided the whole season, and that's the reason why Arsenal's got a trophy. And the second interview with Martin Odegaard was after the final match at Selhurst Park. So he came to my position with the gold medal, and he was pretty happy. The special thing about him, he's, his country, they are not so emotional.
Right. They're from Scandinavia. So yeah.
Exactly. So I don't expect, high emotions, pure joy from Martin, but since he's got his medal, he was pretty happy, and he was pretty open to me. So I really enjoyed my last interview of last season. So Martin Odegaard is my highlight from last season.
No, wonderful. As an Arsenal fan, I really appreciate that. But also, it must be a completely different discipline. I'm thinking, as a reporter, when you are talking after a game like that, it's like all pressure is off, right? It's a different type of interview, because I know I teach a few reporters as well. I teach them English, and so I follow them a lot, and I watch their interviews in the Czech league, and I feel like it's completely different when they are talking to someone after a game they have won, or even a title, and then talking to them after a defeat or draw. It must be so different, right?
Yeah, the tricky thing is that I don't know the player who I'm going to speak to. So I'm sitting at my place at the stadium for the 90 minutes, and obviously I'm watching the game, doing my notes to my laptop or to my iPad or to my iPhone. But I don't know if I get Odegaard, if I get someone from the other
Right.
team. So, after the final whistle, we go to the mix zone, which is the place where we're doing the interviews. It's pretty small place. We are like, there are 15 reporters from all over the world, and we are waiting for the Premier League production guy. We will read the names, and then you will find out who will come to you.
Yeah.
So it could be Holland, could be Odegaad, but it could be goalkeeper.
And is he usually? Do they usually
so-
pick players that made the difference in that game, or is it a little bit predictable at least, or could
Depends.
it be really random for you?
Well, it's approximately 7 names. So we don't know the key. I don't know.
Team almost.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't know. I don't know the key. So sometimes I get Holland, which is so cool. But sometimes I get, I don't know, Ben White, who speaks
It's not
like,
so cool.
no, it's not so cool. Like 2 sentences per answer. So you never know. But that's the tricky discipline, or the tricky thing at this discipline. So but it's adrenaline as well. I love it.
I bet it is.
And you have
And
to
when
read
you are
the
making
player,
your notes,
Yeah.
pardon?
You have to read the player when he comes
Right.
to you, and it's Odegaard who got the crucial assist. So probably he's satisfied.
Yeah.
Probably he's happy. So you could be optimistic, but on the other hand, when you get a player from the losing team, then you have to feel some emotions.
So when you're making notes, the way I would do it is that maybe you have some generic questions which you could almost ask any of them, right? But then and then you also have to think about specific players you might talk to. So as you said, whether it's Odegaard, Haaland. So that's really interesting. Well, I bet the more you do it, the more you sort of figure it out, and the more you create a system for yourself, right?
And you are more self-confident, obviously. And the worst thing is that sometimes for one player there are 4 reporters normally, but we as a Czech Republic reporters, we are not so famous over there because it has been so far our 4th season.
Right.
But there are reporters who have been doing this job for like 10, 15 years. So obviously they are the first to do the interview with the player. And if you ask the same questions for the 3rd or 4th time, the player is pretty upset. So you have to be creative, and sometimes you have to just delete your first question, which was prepared for yourself, but you have to throw it away, and
also,
you have to quickly.
You have to react, but also you have to listen to those interviews before as well that are done by your colleagues. So that you edit those out. That's really interesting. That's like a lot of aspects of your job there.
Yeah.
Because people don't really realize it. Everybody just watches your interview, which is, I don't know, 2-3 minutes long, and nobody knows what you have to go through to get there.
And there's the other question, Zdenek, or the other thing that you really have 90 seconds at maximum. They say 2 or 3 questions, which is pretty difficult, because if your first question is bad, then the whole interview normally is bad, so you have to be really clever, especially with the first question.
Now, what comes to mind is the way Haaland used to answer in the past. Remember how he used the word shit, something like that, and when they asked him, he said, how was the game? He said, good, and that's it. Has that ever happened to you, like one word answers?
I think it was in the first season, and maybe it was my first pitch side reporting. And I got Haaland in his first season in the Premier League. Obviously, he was the star boy from the first game, because in his first season he scored 36 goals, which was still the record breaking season for any striker. But since that, it was 2022, he has improved a lot, I have to say. He's better in interviews. So his answers are not about 3 words, but sometimes at least about 3 sentences. Yeah.
No, this is wonderful. I could talk about this forever, because obviously it's a little bit interesting for me as a teacher, right? It's kind of how
Is it?
you
Yeah.
ask the questions, how it's really cool. But we are here to do a short Premier League preview. So let's get started. The Premier League season is it almost 1 week away? Well, more than 1 week away, but yeah, something like that.
We can
I don't
say.
know when
We
this
can say.
gets published, but I would say around 1 week away. So just around the corner. And my first question is, how excited are you about the start of the season? Is it more work for you, or are you also, does the football fan in you also, sort of, are you buzzing for it as well?
Yeah, I'm definitely buzzing. I'm a
Mhm.
huge fan of football. Obviously, we all are from our CANAL Plus Sport team
Right.
because you simply have to if you do this job. But I had to promise to my family because I got two beautiful daughters and my wife.
Mm.
I had to promise for the last 2 weeks that I will be off. With football, just switching off from the
Right.
Athletic, from BBC, from the Guardian.
Yeah.
So it was difficult for me, but obviously we are recording on Tuesday, so I started my real preparation for the new season on Monday. So I'm
Mhm.
slowly getting into it, but
Right. Right.
I
Right.
have to say I'm buzzing because next week I'm flying to Emirates Stadium for the very first match of the season. So I will be there in
Is it against
London.
Hull? It's against Hull, right?
It's against Coventry. Coventry.
Coventry. I knew it was one of the newly promoted clubs. So
Yeah,
Arsenal,
yeah, yeah.
Coventry. It's
Arsenal
it's on
Coventry.
Friday, basically the day
On Friday
before.
evening, yeah.
Yeah.
And on
Yeah.
Saturday, I'm covering Brentford Spurs because we got Tony Kinski, Czech goalkeeper there, so I will be there as well. So,
Nice.
so
Nice.
yeah. So that's why I'm buzzing because I love it. The first round is always special because you
Mhm.
feel the expectations and new
Absolutely.
shirts, atmosphere,
Yeah.
everything.
It's
So
different. I know. I know what you
it's
mean.
different. It's
You're
different.
excited. You're even excited to play the fantasy league and all this. And then,
Exactly. Yeah, you're right. You're
yeah.
right. So
Okay.
yeah, so it will
Yeah.
be difficult, difficult to predict as always. But right now, it will be even more difficult, I would say, because we got like 9 new managers in the league. We got as always 3 new teams, but it's really hard to predict how good they will be. So
Yeah.
yeah,
No, you just took the words right out of my mouth because I was going to ask you about those 9 managers.
Mm.
Obviously, we don't have to name them all here, but that's
No,
just such a huge, massive change. I don't know when something
wow.
like this happened last time, but
Mm.
it seems like there will be a lot of rebuild, a lot of unpredictability. Sometimes it takes months for new managers to bed in. Sometimes it works right away. Remember the
Yeah,
season when Jurgen Klopp left and then a slot, he won the
yeah,
title the next season.
yeah.
So what's going to happen, and which one of these names is for you the biggest change?
I can't wait to see Xabi Alonso at Stamford Bridge, honestly, because he was my
Yeah.
favorite player when he used to play for Liverpool. A
Mm,
very clever guy. Many players who used to play with him, they already said that they saw the manager in him, many years ago. So
right.
uh,
Right.
I think it's good for him that Chelsea they will not be performing in Europe, so they can concentrate only
Okay.
only
That's true.
only as Premier League.
Yeah.
So or two Premier League. So yeah, so Xabi Alonso. I'm interested in Liverpool generally because they are pretty poor. That's the word, poor in transfer market right now.
Right.
So
But they're
they
not
need
poor
players.
in terms of how much money they can spend. They're poor in
Right.
terms of like the transfer window can be rated as poor. That's what you mean.
Yeah. That's what
Yeah.
I mean. But
Mhm.
they spend a lot last window, so that's why I don't think they will spend so much this summer. But I
Right.
like Andoni Iraola. He's very open guy, very nice guy as well. I loved the football of Bournemouth from last season. So, but the question mark is Iraola, big. Big enough for Liverpool Football Club because there are
We
huge
saw
expectations,
we
and
saw what happened to Thomas Frank, who also came from Brentford and he failed at Tottenham. So
good
that's
example.
very good point to make. And
Yeah.
what about Guardiola then? He's gone after how many years?
Mm,
10 years at City.
mm.
So what about that change? That's going to be massive because it's always a tough act to follow if you have to follow a coach like that. So that's going to be
Yeah, you're
super,
right.
super hard for. Is it Enzo Maresca who is
It
succeeding him?
it is, and I respect Mariska as well, because he knows Man City. He used to work there, so
Right.
he knows the club. So it's hopefully it will not be as difficult as for anyone else in Man City, but who knows?
Right.
There are two persons who left Premier League, and two huge persons. Obviously, you mentioned Pep Guardiola, and we lost Mo Salah, one of the best from the last years. So I think, and that's what I said yesterday when I was a guest in Arsenal's podcast, Czechoslovakian fan club, that this season it should be really different competition, and I hope it will be, because this Premier League, we can predict in the next 10 days how it will, how
Pan
Brentford
out.
will be, how Spurs will be, how Liverpool will compete with their own players, how Arsenal will be. But
It's hard to call. This season is
it's
hard to
hard to
call. I know.
call.
I completely agree with you. I even heard an opinion when I
Yeah.
was doing my short preparation for this podcast. I heard an opinion that this to the people that were speaking there, some pundits, it reminds them a little bit of that Leicester season. That remember the season that Leicester won.
course.
That something like that could happen if Arsenal drop off.
Yeah.
It could happen. I think Arsenal are probably the big. We will get to predicting the top four and all that later. But it seems like Arsenal are the biggest favorites right now, possibly, and everyone else is a bit up in the air. And so if this happens, there could be a club that nobody expects to do well, and they might honestly get to top four or even win the league. It could happen. If it's very rare, to be fair, but if it ever happens, maybe the time is now.
Maybe, but I think United should be, for example, better than last season. So they should compete at least for the top three, definitely. There's a big question mark who will be the biggest competitor for Arsenal, as you mentioned, because they really are the without a doubt the biggest favorite. So favorites. But Man City, they lost not only Pep Guardiola but John Stones, Bernardo Silva, the main guys in the dressing room. They probably will lose
Akanji
Rodri
as well,
as well.
Aku, right? Akanji,
So
these guys too.
yeah. So
What about
we will see.
what about Rodri? It's not clear that he's staying either, is it?
No, I just said that they will probably lose Rodri, but we don't know if it will be Real Madrid or Barca. But
Right.
yeah, I believe he wants to go to Spain right now.
Mm-hmm.
We still don't know because it's still rumors. But
Yeah.
it's a shame for Premier League. He's still a very good player. He was the best at the World Cup. So
Exactly.
yeah, it's a
Exactly.
shame. It's a shame.
He won the trophy. What was the name of the trophy? Something like golden something. Not golden
Something.
boot.
Yeah, but
Something. He won the golden
he
ball,
was
I think.
he,
Golden ball.
he was like the player of the tournament. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Well, so since we started talking about the prediction, so you think Arsenal will win. So they're the most likely. So they will defend, because defending the title is also a different discipline, isn't it? It's also tougher because you have to keep the momentum, stay on the same level. Sometimes you drop off, lose motivation because you've done it, right? In your head, you sort of drop off, the motivation goes down.
Yeah.
So we will see how Arsenal cope with that.
And the thing is, the game style of Arsenal, right now, the old managers, they can read the game style of Arteta from last season. So for me, the question is as well, will he change something? Will we see different Arsenal?
Yeah.
Or will they be as effective as last season, for example, with corners, with free kicks as well? What
And
about Victor
annoying for some.
Gyökeres? Yeah, you're right. You're right. That some matches of Arsenal, without a doubt, were pretty boring, but it was effective. They were collective points. So collection
Absolutely.
points. So
Okay, so the title contenders you've already mentioned, and probably the usual suspects like Liverpool, City. You mentioned Man United, that you expect them, or you think they might have the ambition to get to be better than the previous season. And anyone else that could sort of fight for top four?
Top four is difficult. I would say Man City, they should be the biggest competitor for Arsenal. Then I will go for United, then Liverpool or Chelsea probably, because I think Chelsea. Yeah, it's still difficult because when I see the team of Chelsea, you can say that Joao Pedro, Rogers, and Palmer, if they will be fit and if they will play together, they should be really, really strong together.
Yeah,
Very good, very
Oh,
good. Triangle.
a force to reckon with, for sure. And
Yeah, but
as well as that, I think a good point you made earlier is that they are not in Europe this season, so they can focus on the league.
exactly.
And so there's one club like that, and there's another club like that, and that's Tottenham, who really struggled. Who really struggled last season, almost got relegated. But now it looks like they have made a few good transfers. De Zerbi, I think they might be sort of. I think he's in a good position at the club because he saved them, so the fans are behind him. I think there might be like good vibe at Tottenham. Now that's coming from an Arsenal fan, so I can feel like it might do well this season. I think so.
They spend a lot. Really. Like Tonali, Fernandes, it's together almost 200 million pounds, which is incredible.
Right.
They got brand new defense. Senesi, Van Hecke came from Brighton as well. You got experienced one, Andy Robertson on the left. Pedro Porro was fantastic at the World Cup, so he will be fantastic this season as well.
Yeah.
I believe in that. So the question is the goal scorer of Spurs, because I'm still not sure about Richarlison. Dominic Solanke, we know about his injuries.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask you about. I think part of the reason Tottenham were so bad the previous season was the fact that they had too many injuries, right? So did most of the players recover now, or?
Well, not Kulusevski, for example, very talented guy from Sweden. We are still waiting for him for a very long time right now. So not everyone, but James Madison, for example, the creative player, he's fit.
Okay.
He's fit. So Spurs should be at least in top 10, in my opinion. They have to. They have to be.
I think they have to be higher. Because it seems like in my eyes, they went through some sort of catharsis, right? Yeah. So the only way is up, and that's going to fuel the desire to improve. Yeah. And I can see them doing really well this season.
Yeah, and don't forget the Czech goalkeeper.
I hope I'm wrong, but I think they will.
And don't forget the Czech goalkeeper Tony Kinski. So
I was going to ask you about Czech players, of course. Yeah. So they have a Czech goalkeeper. And I'll ask you a little bit later about this. But okay, so now we're sort of predicting the league. So how about teams that you think will get relegated? So the classic story is the three teams that are newly promoted usually are tipped to go down in the same season or the next season. So do you think it's going to happen again, or? Well, that didn't happen last year because West Ham was one of the teams that went down. So
yeah, exactly. And Leeds last season was pretty strong. Don't forget Sunderland. What a story! They
finished seventh, right? Seventh.
They qualified for Europe. Yeah.
Oh
seventh,
my goodness!
So it's incredible. But it really is a football city. So I'm quite happy for them, Sunderland. But yeah, my prediction is. And I know it's not special that Hull will go down. I think Ipswich will go down, and Coventry will be battling with Nottingham.
Okay.
Maybe Crystal Palace and Leeds. Yeah, that's my prediction.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay. I forgot to ask you about dark horses. So teams that you think could appear among top 4? Or is there anyone like that in your opinion?
Difficult question. I think it will be Brighton as well, because I like their crazy style. They can lose one game, 0-4, but then win 3-1 against United, for example. So you never know, and that's what I like about them.
Yeah.
But my dark horses from last seasons, Aston Villa and Newcastle, they are selling players, Zdeněk. So I'm afraid that.
Yes.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe Brentford
Yeah.
will be dark horse because
I see the same. I noticed the same.
yeah,
Rogers, and who else is there? A
I
lot.
think Luka
Bruno Guimaraes.
Day.
Yeah, big players leaving these two clubs,
Exactly.
as you said. So,
Exactly.
and they are not
Yeah.
replacing them yet. So
No,
you
not
might be
yet,
right
not
about
yet.
that. And these are teams with big ambition, a lot of money, especially Newcastle. I think they are owned by Saudis. So yeah, absolutely. Okay, so now that this is covered, how about some players? So we've had some outgoing, of course. So who will be the most missed player for you? You've already mentioned Salah, but there were some others too. So who will you miss the most?
Tomáš Souček. Tomáš Souček. I will miss Tomáš Souček because yeah, he's Czech. He used to be the captain.
I'm with you on that.
He's very nice. He's humble. Okay, he's not Ronaldinho, but I like him. I like his effort. West Ham supporters, they totally fell in love with him, and
No, I know.
I think that's why he decided to stay, and he really wants to quickly come back to Premier League with hammers.
So this might be just a temporary situation though, because okay, West Ham got relegated. Now Tomáš Souček is in the Championship, so he's still in England. Okay, you might not be covering the Championship, Canal Plus, right? But you can still say hi to Tomáš, right, in London or something. But what about some other players then? Cucurella. How about Cucurella? Are you gonna miss his hair?
Yeah, probably. No. Honestly, he was one of the best left backs I've ever seen in the Premier League for the last seasons, definitely.
Yeah.
Because he was pretty good at Brighton, I have to say. At the Amex, I saw him many times from the stand, from the views.
Yeah.
And
you cannot miss him. You cannot miss him.
Yeah,
you know it's him. Oh, you can see him miles away.
It's Cucurella, so yeah. But Chelsea has to find replacement for the left side, definitely for Mark. But I like Johnny Stones as well. So right now he's in Italy. Good guy as well. Always great interview with him because he's pretty clever, very open. So Johnny Stones, yeah. But Ladia Krejci as well. It looks like he will stay at Wolverhampton. So that's the problem. We need Czech players. We as a broadcaster of Premier League for Czech and Slovak, Czech Republic and Slovakia. We need Czech and Slovakian people.
And it's the same for me, Martin, because the more Czech players there are in the Premier League, the more I enjoy watching the league.
Yeah, of course.
It all goes hand in hand. Because
that's how it works.
I'm your potential client, basically. So it's the same for me. Like now, okay, since we are already talking about this, so we do have 2 Czech players at the moment in the Premier League, right?
Yes.
Or it's only 2, and they're both goalkeepers.
Both goalkeepers. Thank God for them.
Exciting. Yeah, thank God, but it's not the most exciting thing because they're not very likely to score goals or prepare chances.
Well, if they both will be the goalkeepers number 1 in Newcastle or at Spurs respectively, I will be satisfied, because especially in the second round, we got Spurs against Newcastle at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. So we are sending 2 reporters to this stadium because it's a great story, Great story. And it's especially I'm so happy for Horniček because I don't know him personally. I don't know how good he is because I don't have time to watch Portuguese competition. But he chose the really great club with tradition.
So let's just explain this because I have international audience here. So Lukáš Horníček is a Czech goalkeeper who has just been bought by Newcastle, and he came from Sporting?
Braga,
Sporting
Braga, Braga,
Braga,
Braga,
sorry,
Braga.
Braga, which is a Portuguese club. He was amazing there last season. They even got into the semi-final of Europa League, I think.
I think so,
And yeah, so now of course we have to. So the Czech goalkeeper school seems to be working well, but not any outfield players.
You're definitely right, and he's still 24. Great English, very clever. When I saw his first interview, I was like, okay, so he knew for a while that he's coming to Newcastle, because he was talking about the capacity of the stadium, about the fans, about the
Right.
city itself. So I think he will start, or he should start, as a number one. Hopefully, he will be good. So he will keep he will keep his position, and we will see famous battles between Kinski and Horníček.
But Kinski obviously will start as number one for Tottenham, because again he was part of the reason that Tottenham last season managed to stay up, because it went right down to the wire. They had to win their last game, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Martin, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they had to win their last game. If they hadn't done it,
Right.
it might have been West Ham if they had won their game.
Who
had stayed up.
You're right. You're right. Yeah, and Kinski got a chance in, I think, last 7 matches of the season, because Vicario got injured. The previous number one, and he got his chance. He was pretty good. New manager came in, and Kinski got his trust. So I think he should start as number one. Yeah.
No, wonderful. Well, hopefully we will have more Czech players in the future in the Premier League. Do you have any secret tips who these guys might be?
No. We were just hoping for Pavel Schulz, joining the English competition, but
right.
He wasn't good at the World Cup. No one.
Now he's injured.
Was good. He's injured.
And he's also linked with Juventus Turin now. So
he is because Lyon, they just need to sell players because they really need money. So difficult situation. Yeah.
It's a pity, because to be honest, I wouldn't even mind having Czech players at like lower, how to put this, like at the clubs that might not do really well.
Yeah.
As long as they are there, it would be more fun, whatever teams they are. Like last season, it was great. Right. I know they got relegated, so it wasn't that great, but yeah.
You're right. Yeah. But you can, in the Premier League, you very quickly can find your idol, your favorite player, someone who you will follow every weekend. That's why the competition is so special, because
absolutely
we as a media, we really focus on everything. So right now you can choose.
Yeah, well, I'm sure there will also be some new heroes that will come out, or that will appear out of nowhere, because
they will shine.
Yeah, it will shine, because it's this sort of seismic changes. All these new managers, they might favor different players. So it's coming. I think it's coming. This season will be sort of important in that aspect.
You're right. Yeah.
So you mentioned. Well, it was me who mentioned it. The Fantasy League. Are you also a manager, Fantasy League manager?
Yeah, yesterday I picked my first teams, Denek, but I think I will make something like 128 changes, until next Friday. Yeah. So difficult. Holland is so expensive. Gabriel Magalhaes is so expensive. Bruno Fernandes is so expensive.
Yeah, but
I don't know.
70% of managers have Holland, so it's a big risk if you play without him and then he scores a hat-trick in the first game, and then you have to buy him, and it will be difficult to get him. So it's a question: should you go with or without Haaland? And also, if you go without Haaland, then a lot of people say that means you can play your bench boost, basically.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
So by the way, guys, if you have no idea what we are talking about right now, this is the Fantasy Football, or FPL. Which is associated with the Premier League, and basically it's a fun game that I recommend everyone trying. And you can also join the mini league of the Footbridge podcast. You will find the link in the description, and we can compare our results against each other, which is always fun. And speaking of the links in the description, you will definitely find a link to Martin there, or to Martin. Would you like me to? I know you have a podcast we should mention. You have Away Days, your podcast Away Days, right? You want to say something about that?
Thank you. Yeah, we just celebrated 100 episodes, 2 years of. I got my podcast for 2 years right now, and it was just my idea how to pay attention to new football fans who want to travel to different stadiums. So my guests are generally the presidents of Czechoslovakian fan clubs of, I don't know, Hamburger or Liverpool or I don't know, Ozer or Borussia Dortmund or
all
or Real
clubs
Madrid.
around Europe. It's not just
exactly
the Premier League. Okay.
It's amazing.
That's wonderful.
It's amazing how many football mad people live around us, and they spend so much money, so much time just to see their clubs all over the world. So it's like, it's also, my podcast is only about passion, and if you want to join us, you can, because we got the very first public event at the 19th of September at the Pitchers, which is small, beautiful, romantic pub just down the Vltava River, Smíchovská Naplavka, Hořejší Nabřeží. So if you want to join us, you can. So it will be like
sounds wonderful. No, I honestly love your football, which you do from your you call it your bedroom or something. I know you have this expression pokojíček, which in
Czech,
your bedroom. I have watched a few episodes, and like your studio. It's very good. It looks really
cozy,
good, like
very cozy.
Visually cozy and visually appealing, right? And the only issue, Martin, I have with this is that it's in Czech. So I know we have some Czech listeners here, but the majority of the listeners don't speak Czech. So if you do speak Czech, Martin's podcast the link will be in the description of this episode. And if you don't speak Czech, I guess your only option is, I think we now have some tools, right? Some AI tools that can, if you watch a YouTube video, it can dub it for you. So they will not hear your wonderful voice, but they might hear some dubbing, which at least you will have the chance to enjoy the episode, or use the subtitles, which are also available by YouTube. So
yeah. Thank you, Zdeněk, for this beautiful.
No worries. And you have an English name. The podcast is an English name. Away Days.
Away Days, yeah. Because I love it, But when you say away day in England, everyone knows what is it all about. Just it starts in the morning when you grab the coffee, then go to train, then you chat with people in the same shirt. Then you go to stadium, 2 or 3 beers or pints. Then you go to the stadium. You cheer your team for the 90 minutes. Then and again the same circle. So wow.
No, it's a concept. I know what you're referring to. It's basically it's the concept of a traveling fan, as someone who goes away to support their club. That's what it is. So it's not when you're going to your home game, which there are many season ticket holders, of course. But I think this is like extra. This is one level above, because you are. I don't want you to say wasting. You're not wasting. You are using up your weekend, which you could spend with your family. Spending it as this away day. It takes one day. Sometimes when you go somewhere far and the game is late, you might even have to sleep there and return the next day. So this is wonderful.
Yeah, you're right.
All right. No, it was good to explain this expression here, away days, just for the listeners of the podcast. Okay, Martin, nice one. Thank you very much for being today's guest, and I hope to speak to you again, perhaps at the beginning of the next season or something like that.
Zdeněk, thank you very much. Wonderful 40 minutes of my life. Good luck with your podcast and everything. Thank you very
so much. Take care, Martin. Bye-bye.
Take care, guys. Thank you.
welcome back to the Language Corner. It's grammar time. It's grammar. I'm sure you've all been excited to listen to exactly this part of the show. I'm not sure. I'm guessing some of you were excited to listen to this part of the show, while others might just be switching off right now. Yeah, that's right. This is the part where I do my job because, as you guys know, I'm a qualified English teacher and it is my job to teach English, so I might as well do some teaching here. Right. Okay, so what are we going to look at today? Well, remember how I said at the beginning of this section, it's grammar time? Yes, we're doing grammar this time, which is not very common on this podcast. Normally, we pick apart some vocabulary, we dissect expressions, idioms, stuff like that. Today it's grammar, and we're gonna look at the feared conditionals. We're gonna look at a notoriously difficult piece of grammar called conditionals, but don't worry, I will make it short and sweet. Let's take a look at conditionals, one only. And the reason I'm doing this is that I noticed a slip in Martin's speech, and I asked him, actually, I sent him a message asking him if he would be okay with me having a look at this specific piece of grammar. And I'm glad that he's very open-minded about this. And he said yes, which is something I needed first. I needed his permission because I don't normally do it like that. But I think it's a great opportunity for all of us to learn something. Right, so what did Martin actually say? He said the following sentence. If they will both be goalkeepers number one, or he might have said, if they both will be goalkeepers number one, I think, at Newcastle or Spurs, respectively, I'll be satisfied. Of course, he was talking about the Czech goalkeepers, Horníček and Kinský. And the whole sentence was very long, very nice, complex, but there's a little issue. So when we are using conditionals, conditional clauses, or if you want, some people call them if clauses, and you have to identify what an if clause actually is. There has to be some sort of condition. So if the condition is met, then something will happen, right? So this is the typical structure where we are basically referring to the future. It's also what's called a real condition. A real condition means that there is a real possibility this might actually happen, right? Because it's about the future, you see. If we are using the second or third conditional, it's usually either about the past or the present, and something that cannot be changed is unreal condition. This one, however, is real. Now, the tendency for Czech learners, and to be honest, in my experience with teaching other nationalities in Europe as well, I think it's almost the same in almost every single country in Europe, apart from England. I don't know why. They use future tense for something like this, right? Or we do as well in Czech. So naturally, Martin's tendency would be to use if and then immediately followed by will. That's not something we can do in English in these types of clauses. Instead, you need to use present simple in that clause with if. You can use will later though. So the way Martin should be saying it is, if they are both goalkeepers number one, yes, if they are both goalkeepers number one at Newcastle or Spurs and Spurs respectively, I'll be satisfied. The final part is absolutely fine because this is the main clause and we use will in that. But in that clause, in that part of the sentence, starting with if, make sure the verb is actually in the present simple form, right? So be careful if it's the verb to be, because it's tougher to get it right, because you have to watch out for the person as well. So if I am, if you are, if he, she, it is, if we are, if you are, if they are. right? So if they are, right, that's what you have to say. If it's not the verb to be, I don't know, you could say something like, if they both play as goalkeepers number one, you could say that. Now, careful if it's the third person singular. So if he plays as a goalkeeper number one, okay. You see, you get me. You understand this concept. I hope you do. Basically, this conditional one is very formulaic. What do I mean by that? I mean to say that it's a structure that is almost always like that, and you shouldn't be getting this wrong. I think it's not as hard as it looks, even though the problem is that the first language creeps in, right? It creeps in and it confuses us because we are trying to translate from our first language. And also, since there are different types of clauses, we confuse the tenses, we confuse the structures. I get it. That's why today I'm only looking at conditionals 1. So I've just given you an example where we are referring to the future. We are setting a condition for the future. If A happens, then B will happen, right? So if they are goalkeepers number one, I will be satisfied. You see? If they are not goalkeepers number one, I will not be satisfied. Easy, right? So the toughest thing, as I said, is to make sure that in these types of conditionals, you use present simple for referring to the future. So it's a little bit counterintuitive maybe for a lot of learners, because why would you use the present tense to talk about the future? Does that make sense? Well, unfortunately, in English, it does. So careful about this one. And what I would suggest, or what I recommend doing for those of you that are struggling with this, is to memorize a sentence, a simple sentence, something like, if I have time this weekend, I'll watch the Premier League games, right? Everyone can memorize a sentence like that. And it's actually easier for you to remember because it's about your life. It's something you can relate to. Like probably this is true about you. If I have time this weekend, I'll watch the Premier League games, right? So don't say if I will have time. No, if I have time this weekend, or if my friend has time this weekend, he will watch the Premier League games. Something like that. Okay, guys, I hope this has been useful. Please don't forget to give this episode a like on the YouTube channel, and because it helps out the channel. Or if you don't like giving likes, why not recommend this podcast to your friends? Okay, here is the deal, here is my request. Choose one friend and tell them about the podcast. That's all I'm asking you to do. And that's it. Thanks a lot for listening, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye, everyone. Cheers.